Vendure version 1.4 is out now. This new version brings a lot of improvements to the admin UI. So in this video, I want to take you on a tour through some of these new features. First of all, let's talk about custom fields. In Vendure, custom fields allow you to add your own data to models. They're configured like this. Here we have the product entity. In this example, we're adding a whole bunch of custom fields to the product entity, covering things like the width and the height, the weight, and additional information we might need in our storefront to know how to display it. When we go over to the admin UI, this is how it's displayed. The admin UI knows what kind of field to choose depending on the data type of the custom field, so string, number, and text. But what happens if we want to display this in a slightly different way? For example, the additional info, we might want to display this with a rich text editor, or the specs, we might want to actually display it with a kind of formatted JSON with some kind of highlighting. In this new version, we make this very simple. In your custom field configuration, you can add a new property named UI. And in here, we can specify a component that we want to use to render that custom field. The UI comes built in with a bunch of different components we can choose from. So here in this example, we want to choose a rich text form input. And let's fill out the rest of these too with some other selections. We'll restart the server, and now let's see what it looks like. We refresh the page. And now you can see our custom fields are rendered here with a rich text editor, which allows us to do formatting the way that we like. We've got a JSON editor here, which will tell us when the JSON's invalid. And we've been able to add suffixes to these number fields here. Now as you start adding more custom fields to your project, you can run into the problem that the detail pages can become a bit noisy, as all the custom fields are listed out in one column. With version 1.4 we have a solution for that, which is tabbed custom fields. So custom fields can now be grouped, and this is done using the same UI object in the configuration. So we'll add here UI object, the tab, and we'll call this tab display. That will be the title of the tab. And we'll add the same one here. And then for these ones, we'll say that the tab should be called shipping. This tab string can also be a translation token if you need to support multiple languages. Now let's restart the server and refresh the page. And now you'll see that the custom fields are split into tabs. Now one of the really nice things about the admin UI is that we allow you to extend it in many different ways. You can add new screens, you can add new buttons, you can customize the custom field controls, and extend the menu here on the left. So one thing we've added here is that now it's easier to know exactly what you can extend on a given screen. So this is done when you're running the admin UI in development mode, not in production mode. If you press Control or Command and the U button, you'll see these kind of plugin icons appear, and they appear at all the places that you can extend that particular screen. Not only that, if you click on them, it will give you an example of the API that's going to be used to actually add in a new component in those places. And down here is a brand new area that can be extended, which is a custom detail component. So on the detail page, you can now add arbitrary components into the main detail body area of the detail view. And here's how you would extend the navigation. So again, this only runs in development mode, Control or Command plus U. Okay, the last feature I want to highlight on the admin UI is support for localization. So already we support 13 different languages for the UI, but there's always been an issue with the difference between the language and the locale. And I'll give you a good example here. We have an order right here that is been placed in Malaysian ringgit, that's the currency of Malaysia, MYR, that's the code. And if I was running this shop in Malaysia, there's a couple of problems here. First of all, although MYR is the correct code, the three character code for the currency, in Malaysia, people don't refer to it as MYR, they refer to it as RM, Ringgit Malaysia. So to a native Malaysian person, this doesn't look right. Another problem here is the date format. 12/13/21, so this is the format which is used pretty much only in North America. In the rest of the world, we like to put the day first before the month. So up until now, there's been no way to change this in the admin UI. So with version 1.4, we have quite a lot more control over the locale. First of all, we can select the language here. We'll leave it English for now, but then we can select the locale here. And I'm going to say my locale is Malaysia. And so if I set that, we'll see now the prices are displayed correctly for that locale. This is what makes sense to a Malaysian person, RM. Not only that, the date has changed. So we have the day first and then the month. So this will be in effect for all numbers, currencies, and dates displayed anywhere in the admin UI. It can also be set as a default in your admin UI config. This release includes way more features than what I've shown here. For example, we've now released an official payment plugin with support for Braintree and Molly, first of all, with more payment providers coming. You can now add custom fields to basically any kind of entity with publishing way more events, and there's a ton of fixes. You have to check the blog post and the changelog to get details on all of that. So enjoy the release, let me know your feedback, and see you next time.